Hey, Bob from Project Chaos again. Another video for another install for some more toys that I bought. Actually, it's kind of a twofer. So, could even say threefer. I bought the rock hard winch mount plate that fits on the stock plastic bumper, along with the hoop guard that comes with there so you can mount lights or whatever it is that has the tabs on it. In addition, I bought the Badlands 12,000 pound winch with a wireless remote from Harbor Freight. Decided let's go ahead and put this all on together. I will say this with the rock hard, they do have the instructions in the video, so they have it on YouTube as well. No sense getting into all of it. I will say this, a few little extra things. One, I did find it easier to put the winch on afterwards, but I'll get to more about that later with one or two issues. Otherwise, they do recommend you put the hoop on before you put it on. So you have basically these two bolts. The other hardware is right here that mounts to their brackets that mount to the frame. You do have to take the bumper off, all that other fun stuff. I found out the hardest part was they told you in the very beginning of the instructions, there's a little plastic valance that goes right where you see where that gap is, and there's two things to pull out. There isn't. There is a total of 8. The rest are sitting along this row here. So when you go to pull it out, it makes it just that much more fun. I find that having these kits works wonders. The part that I was using, sure around here somewhere. But anyway, basically, it'll probably be in the engine compartment when I start the car, and I'll find that out the hard way. But basically, you pry that all out. The other part that you run into down here is that this thing will fight you. The air dam that's down here, there's actually 2 metal bolts on the bottom, or metal screws, and that's easy enough. The other bunch that are up there right now, I have to go get more. You basically ruin them. As you can see, they're scattered all over the place. So I have tie wraps and a tie wrap gun, which I highly recommend for those of you who've never used one before. But a tie wrap gun is this puppy. All right, this will basically, when you put the cables together, tie wraps them, keeps them in neat. Won't go in the whole problem with the engine compartment. So otherwise, it did take a while, and it's not light. So I would recommend doing it with somebody else, not doing it by myself. The Badlands winch, very nicely done. Waterproof, dustproof. Actually comes with a cutoff switch, which I put on the engine compartment. Didn't have a real way to mount it right as of yet, so it's kind of wedged in there, but the cutoff switch is nice to have. The one bad thing they don't tell you from the get-go with this Badlands winch, all right, you have to put the ground wire on. Now, by the time you've fought and done everything, the ground wire is buried back in here. And when you pull the nut off, they don't tell you about this until after they tell you mount the winch. I'm willing to bet 99 times out of 100, you guys will have about as much gap as I have in here, which is next to none. So I recommend putting that on beforehand, because when you try and take that little nut off, it drops down in here, and there's no way of getting this thing back without removing the whole thing, and I'm not going through all that effort. I'm assuming that someday it'll fall out. So sadly, I have to take, it's 5/16 hardware, so I did have to take it out of the battery, one of the batteries to my golf cart. So I'll be going to the hardware store to get another 5/16 hardware. Other than that, it went pretty well. Some of you may wonder why I went with this and not a full bumper. I had this on my first JK. I had my second JK, I had an aftermarket heavy-duty steel bumper. No complaints except for if you beat it, you bash it, whatever it is, you scrape it, which you do when you go off-roading. You'll have to paint it, sand it, whatever it is to make it look right, or you have to learn just to deal with the marks. I find that when I had my first one like this works perfectly fine. And if I really need another bumper, most people are replacing them anyway. These are literally being given away. The Rubicon bumpers are Obviously, people are wanting to charge for them, and that's fine. More power to you. But most of these you can get for, like, if they're not giving away the plastic bumpers, you can buy them for probably 50 bucks. Anybody selling them more than 50 bucks is an idiot. Other than that, because most of them you can just find a regular off-road stores. So, but it is done. It looks rather nice. I like the clean look of the winch. It does come with, spend the extra money, because this thing's about 600 bucks. But by the time you decide you want to go with synthetic line, by the time you want to go with this really nice hook that they have here, versus the regular standard hook, you're going to end up spending this money anyway. And I know, again, 12,000 pounds is a giant amount of overkill for this car. So, but it still works great. We'll give it more of a test run. But like I said, it looks great with the black. It all just kind of blends in. And yeah, in Florida, even in North Carolina, again, I have homes in both. You don't need a front license plate. So, if anybody's going to worry about that, yeah, you don't have to. So, other than that, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.